5 stupid car meet habits. I probably made some kind of variation of the video like this in the past. If I did, I'm just gonna also link to it at the end of this one. Yep, alright, anyways, on to this one. So the first really dumb, stupid car meet habit that you can do is when you talk about someone else's car instead of the one you brought. Now this one I'm actually gonna tone it down and actually not talk like it's a rant. Some of you probably do this totally unintentionally, and I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Is whenever someone goes up to your car or you interject into a conversation and you always start with, my friend's friend actually has like a 2JZ Supra and it's like 600 wheel and yeah, or my uncle has a GTR and it has like 1200 horsepower and it's meth injected, or yeah, this YouTuber I watch, he has a 1600 horsepower drag. Okay, do you see the problem with that? Most people are gonna hate you if you talk like this. If every single interaction that you involve yourself with starts with some kind of one-upping that isn't even about you. So to solve this problem, and to any beginner who's like scared they might become like this or might already have done a little bit of this, keep it simple. Try not to impress people, try not to lie to people. That never carries itself through. Just talk about your own car. If you go to a car meet, you brought your car to that meet. What's there in person is what we're most interested in. We don't care about your brother's 850 wheel car or your uncle's this and that meth injected car or your dad's old classic hot rod. Neither of those are present at the moment. Talk about your car. Given sometimes the opportunity does open itself to talk about someone's car who isn't there. If someone's like, hey, why isn't your brother at this meet? He was here last week. And someone else is like, hey, I don't know who his brother is. What kind of car do they have? Then you can be like, oh, he has an 850 wheel horsepower, like super built fair lady. That makes sense, all right? If the situation provides itself where you can bring up this, sure. But don't start off every conversation constantly bringing up someone else's car that isn't there at the meet, because people interpret that as one-upping or you trying to impress them harder than you expect to, and it's super annoying, alright? So just, again, I'm not gonna take a really ranty tone with this because there's a surprising amount of people who do this in the car community, and they just need this little, little slap on the wrist. Now the next stupid car meet habit is a rather straightforward one that I used for the thumbnail or whatever, and that's doing stupid crap in the parking lot. I talked about stunting in car meets before, but that was with like mini bikes, BMX, and like skateboard, but now we're gonna talk about actual like full-sized cars. So I actually had people try to defend this action in various of my car meet videos. First off, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars of cars in a crowded parking lot on top of actual human lives. Families come to meets, even nighttime meets. There are other people there trying to have a good time, even just going on a date or just chilling out with friends or just people spending time after school. And you want to risk hitting, killing, and destroying someone's life on top of completely destroying your own life with tons of insurance payments because of the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cars. Just stop, alright? Just don't do stupid crap in a crowded parking lot. You're doing it for attention. Don't even try to justify it because you're like, oh, well, I'm in the middle of the meet right now. I want all the eyes on me because I'm already here. If I go outside the meet, they're not staring at me anymore. So give me my attention and feed my fragile ego. That's why you're doing it. Don't try to make any other excuse. That's why you're doing it, because there's a freaking perfectly good road. Most car meets have a perfectly good road next to it. You can do a little downshift on your way in, do a little pull on your way out. Some people, if they have the permission of the property owner, they could even do little burnouts on the way out, a little two-stepping, but not inside the meet. Don't try to race each other in the crowded meet. Don't try to do donuts inside the crowded meet. Don't try to do burnouts in the crowded meet. So in this third entry, I'll step back from my ranting tone and go to a nicer tone again. So I'm going to kind of hop back and forth this video from caring to just ranting. And I don't think I've ever done this in my entire YouTube career, so this is going to be a little bit different than most of my videos. So going to a local meet by yourself as your first meet ever, that's a really stupid habit. I'm going to explain real briefly why. So if you go to a local car meet that only has like 25 people as your first car meet ever, you bring no friends, you don't know anyone who's already there, and when you show up as a newcomer, they're gonna bully you. They're gonna single you out. It's just too easy to, because you're literally the 26th person at a 25-person car meet. If you don't know any of them and they're friends of many years, they're gonna try to haze you. You're the newbie to them. If you don't know anything about cars, and they'll start to tease you. Even if you tell them, hey, go easy, I'm just starting off, that won't stop them. Now, my greatest solution to this So Cars and Coffee and Caffeine and Octane are basically like the McDonald's of the car meat world, and I mean that in a good way, as in they're such massive franchises. Cars and Coffee, I think, is actually worldwide. You can find Cars and Coffee meats in France, Britain, Germany even, so not just the United States. I think even Japan and Australia have Cars and Coffee meats. Now, in the United States, there's another kind of branch or type of with Caffeine and Octane, which is more like along the East Coast. For example, Atlanta does a Caffeine and Octane. If you're introverted, believe it or not, you want to go to a big meet as your first car meet ever. I don't care if the local biggest city to you is like 1 or 2 hours away. I know that sounds daunting, but you won't regret going to the bigger meet first. It sounds like a nightmare, like, oh my god, there's gonna be like, 1,000 cars there, there's gonna be tons of people. Like I said, a lot of people there are newbies. And from there, you can eventually find local meets to go to later. You'll eventually find that group of friends, or you might find a club you like and you want to join, and you can start to funnel downwards locally. But when you start at such a big event that has security, police, staff, and volunteers, you're pretty safe from being bullied because you have staff that's constantly watching, you have security that's making sure no one's touching your car, so therefore you can leave your car. The police obviously help deter a lot of the douchebaggery and the clout chasing that will happen. Oh, trust me, we will talk about the clout chasing. That is another entry in this video, but it's such a good scene is what I'm saying. It's a very good vibe, very friendly place to start, because when you go to a local meet and you know nothing about your local scene, you are just really going into a mixed bag. Are you going to some kind of boomer meet where everyone needs Viagra to even get a minimum amount of testosterone to think about doing a burnout? Or are you going to the Black Air Force One activity takeover and not realizing it? Or are you just going to go even to a regular meet that has like 25 or 40 people there, but because they don't know you and because they all knew each other for many years and because you don't know anything about cars and you're also introverted, they may bully you. So my best form of advice is start big, even if it means driving 1 or 2 hours to your nearest big city. I've had people, when they go to their first meet, they've never seen a supercar their whole life, but once they go to like Caffeine and Octane, they're like, oh my god, I saw a whole row of them. That's like exciting. Like that to them is like their biggest experience. That's already a highlight on its own. So even though they didn't bring any friends, didn't make any friends that day, seeing cars that they've never seen in real life before, and only saw until games up until that point, that is exciting. That's a really cool hallmark for them. So even, it's really hard to leave empty-handed is what I'm saying. If you go to a big meet, you're gonna get something out of it, whether it's new friendships, finding new locals, and going down towards the local scene after meeting bigger scenes, getting into clubs, learning from clubs, or just actually enjoying the event itself. Because again, when you're at a small meet, even if you do kind of fit in, if you don't know the people all that well, it's so hard to like get, I guess, a big spectacle of looking at the same 40 cars for 3 hours. Like, you might only be there for 40 minutes. The only way you could stay the full length of a local car meet is if you actually enjoy the people too, which that comes with time, just going there and talking to people. It's less about the cars and more about the people is what a local car meet is, whereas a big car meet is more about the cars and less about the people. Now that I've said that, now that introverts, it makes sense now. Now it makes sense why the bigger meets are actually better for introverts, because you go there more with the cars as the center focal point and the starting of conversations, and even if you don't even talk to anyone, you can still gain something, because with 1,000 cars, you're gonna see a car you've never seen before. So it's an exciting event to go to. And now back to the ranting tone, clout chasing. This is also a really dumb habit. Now I've talked about clout chasing in many various different ways. Please, for the love of God, do not just see us as another number, like, oh, you're just another follower or just another potential customer. We are humans. You should not start off an interaction by shoving a business card into our faces. You should talk to us, tell me your name, get to know my name, talk to us about the cars, introduce yourself. Then you can maybe slide into your business or your Instagram page or whatever the heck it is. Now, that's lesser offense of clout chasing. As I've stayed in Atlanta more and more, man, you clout chasers just, they keep evolving. So the concept of clout chasing and it as a habit is really, really toxic. I'm talking about the guy who always whips out his phone and starts yelling at someone to do something in the middle. It's like part of the reason, this is like one of those bad habits that spawns other bad habits. You'll have people who have like 1,000 followers on Instagram or on TikTok and now think they're the biggest influencer ever, and they're like, yo, I got 1,000 followers on TikTok, or yo, I'm live on Insta right now and I just got 5 comments that says that whoever does the first burnout, they're gonna get all 5 of their follows. Like, come on, let's do it, bro. Like, stuff like that. And oh my god, it's so obnoxious. Like I almost want to hate the people who do burnouts and donuts just a little less, knowing that usually they're provoked these days by the clout chasers. Of course, some of the people who do burnouts and donuts still do it totally unprovoked and do it because they're just a douchebag, but these guys are adding to that douchebaggery by encouraging those behaviors, and you're the absolute scum of the earth if you go to a car meet looking for attention and that's the only thing that keeps you going. We all just like cars. I think that's what should keep us into cars. I'm not your mother, so I'm not gonna like totally nitpick you and be like, oh, don't have any fun, drive the speed limit, never break any law. Like, okay, I get it, all right? You want to go to Mexico, all right? I'm not gonna lie, I've been there several times myself. I've done some Black Air Force One activity. I'm not a narc, so I'm not gonna snitch on you either. But at a crowded car meet, come on. This video is called Stupid Car Meet Habits, not Stupid Car Guy Habits. At a crowded car meet, you know better. You know better. And the final stupid car meet habit that I really don't like is hovering/stalking in places that you shouldn't be. Now, if you're socially awkward, you should be able to still take a hint. If you aren't, some people unfortunately aren't harsh enough to quite give you the hint until it builds up to the point where they have to just tell you to f**k off. So the hovering is also really common in conventions. If you don't know what hovering means, it's basically a terminology where someone is just standing around someone that they admire for whatever reason. For example, especially with me, I see this habit way too prevalent. It's crazy. I would think people, again, common sense is no longer common. So the favorite person you admire, whether it's a social media influencer like a TikTok star, Instagram star, or YouTuber, or even if it's not even an influencer and it's just someone's car you really like and you just admire their car and their lifestyle, you're like, wow, that guy has a really cool career, you know, I want to be friends with him. Friendships have to take some time to build. You can't force it, alright? So don't follow anyone out of meets and don't hover around people too long. Do not linger and start blocking them off from other contact and getting in the way of everyone, like people trying to take photos. Like when you talk to someone and then once it's like 30 more minutes pass and 1 hour passes, read their faces. Like even if you're the worst at social cues, you should know when someone is rolling their eyes or pointing their toes away from you and they're starting to pace away. Because I have people who literally follow my friends or myself when we so obviously do not want to talk to said person anymore, and they're just really happy and hyped, like they're just in fanboy mode, like da-da-da-da-da, like, oh my god, I know so much about this GTR you own, oh my god, like here's this and this fact, did you know this fact, blah blah blah, and they start becoming like a self-googling machine where they're just constantly spitting things out of excitement. You can't have a one-sided conversation. You have to literally just chill sometimes. You can actually still fanboy over someone's car without being creepy. Just like say what you need to say, then always use questions. I love questions because questions force them to give an answer, which then forces you to be quiet and listen to them. Now it's an interaction because now it's two people exchanging. Whereas if you've literally just been railing down on someone for the past hour, and then after that past hour of railing down on them, now you're just like, oh, can I follow you? What are you doing after this meet? I want to see more of your car. I want a photo shoot with it. Can I follow you on Instagram? Can I get your DMs? You know, ooh, can I get your phone number? Stop, all right? This is a stupid habit. This doesn't just happen at car meets, it happens at gaming conventions, anime conventions, so on and so forth. Where my other stupid car meet habits and car guy videos make fun of car specific behavior, this behavior in this video has been more so down to a psychological human level because car guys aren't immune to still just being humans and also being socially awkward, but you definitely need to catch yourself when you do these things. Reprogram yourself if you have to. If it means like, hey, I think I do some of these, I'm probably gonna tone it down because you're gonna creep other people out, but more importantly from my point of view, you're gonna get yourself in danger. You really should not be following someone around because there's a reason why they don't want you around if they make it super obvious that they don't. And depending where you are in the world, you could get seriously injured or lose your life based on that one stupid, dumb decision to overstep your boundaries. Apologies that I had to end on a rather dark note, but that is actually really, you know what, I don't know how to come back from that. So here's other videos I make. Click this vlog right here. It's happy, I promise you. So if you're feeling a bit down about where we left off, you know, happy. Look, it's Senko, all right? Look, she's happy, nice floofy. Where's the Miata? Here's the Miata. That's where it is. To anyone who's watching, there's probably someone in the comments already saying, "Where's the Miata?" with zero realization that I now have a Miata. All right, so go watch that video. Please, it'll cheer you up, I promise. See y'all next time. Blade Angel out.